Yeah, I know that just by talking to Cody. Whenever they're on the road and there's no cameras, it's Drew and Roman every night. So people get to see the biggest two stars there. Yeah, the way it looks like it's going, I hope it goes all the way to WrestleMania.
So the scene from Young Rock, they teased The Rock versus Roman Reigns at Mania. Is this the match we're getting, or should Cody Rhodes be built for a year to face Roman Reigns? Paige, what do you think, man?
I think so. I think The Rock can come back anytime, and Roman is the guy. And it's like they're grooming Drew, though, too, because whenever they're I know that just by talking to Cody, whenever they're on the road and there's no cameras, it's Drew and Roman every night. So people get to see the biggest two stars there. Yeah, the way it looks like it's going, I hope it goes all the way to WrestleMania. That would be the dream push to get there, and I hope it lasts. I hope it keeps going for my boy,
Vince, Hollywood, yeah. WrestleMania 39. It just makes sense. What do you think, Rock Reigns or Cody?
Vince has his sights set on that. No question about it. If it wasn't in LA and it wasn't Hollywood, it may be a different story.
You're right. You might be right.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny.
Do you think Rock gets voted in the Hall of Fame, and then that's his match at Mania after being in the Hall of Fame, or do you think Rock isn't in the Hall of Fame yet?
I would do it all that weekend, bro. I mean, that's Hollywood, man. It don't get bigger than that.
Yeah, and you could be right. And Cody's thing could come before that, and who knows how that flips, because the last thing The Rock needs is the title, or him putting him over would be great. But at the same time, you're going to go with that baby face, especially on that night in that town. So if it does turn out to be Roman and Rock, if that does, but there's always a swerve here and there. That could have just been The Rock doing that, because he's the greatest friggin' promoter of all time. Vince might get the nod, but Rock gets the greatest, push ever. He's still 5 years now, biggest star in the world. I mean, he's outlasting Arnold in that spot, or even Sly. And some of his movies, they're not that great. A lot of them are great, but some of them, but that don't bother. It don't matter to him. It don't matter. He still kills it, and he's still entertaining. He's always entertaining.
Yeah. I think we see Cody Reigns at SummerSlam. I think the writing's on the wall. It's Hollywood. Put Rock in the Hall of Fame. Hollywood. He's from California. He's born in California, so it all makes sense. And then I think at the end, so that Friday you put him in the Hall of Fame, and then Sunday you put him over Reigns, and that just makes Reigns even stronger to put that toward whatever babyface they're grooming even more. So
but the last thing that match needs is a championship belt. Oh no, strap, yeah, title.
No, don't say strap, Paige.
Strap belt.
Yeah, I said that before. We talked. Vince and I have talked about this before. I'll be totally fine if it wasn't for the title. But it makes sense. I understand why people would want it for the title, just because the stakes feel higher. I think there's no way The Rock wins, but I guess the stakes will be higher or look higher if it's for the title. But I agree, Paige. I don't think it needs a title, but they probably would do that since it is Hollywood themed. So.